Ella's hands trembled slightly as she slid the last bill into the cash drawer. The store felt too quiet, the kind of silence that made every small sound echo. She had stayed a little late again, hoping to earn a bit more overtime, hoping it would help her mother's medicine last another week. The dim lights cast long shadows across the aisles, but Ella had grown used to closing alone. What she wasn't used to was the sudden rattling at the front door. Her head snapped up. 3 men stood outside, their figures half swallowed by the flickering streetlight. They weren't customers. Ella could tell instantly from their slouched posture, their hoodies pulled low, and the predatory smirks spreading across their faces. One of them tapped the glass with a knuckle, each tap slow and deliberate, as though savoring her fear. Ella forced herself to breathe. "We're closed," she said, raising her voice just enough to carry. The men exchanged looks, amused rather than deterred. One yanked the door hard enough to make the frame shake. Another cupped his hands around his mouth and sneered, "Just open up, sweetheart. We'll be quick." Ella backed away from the counter. Her mind raced for options. Call security, hide in the office, anything. But her body felt rooted to the floor. She didn't know what these men wanted, and that uncertainty made her dizzy with fear. But she wasn't as alone as she thought. From somewhere near the back, she heard heavy boots hitting the floor, slow, solid, confident. Ella turned, and her breath caught. The Iron Wolves bikers, who had been lingering in the store earlier, were emerging from between the aisles. She had thought they'd already left, but clearly they had stayed longer than she realized. Tank, the leader, stepped forward first, tall with a broad frame that made the dim lights look softer around him. His voice rumbled through the quiet store. "You all right, kid?" Ella barely managed a nod. They won't leave." Tank's eyes narrowed as he looked toward the entrance. The other bikers moved behind him, creating a silent line of leather jackets and unspoken promise. When the thugs outside saw them, their expressions froze. Tank walked toward the door with slow, deliberate steps. The men outside flinched as he reached for the lock. Ella held her breath. The second the door clicked, the entire atmosphere shifted.